Are you looking for unique ways to use AI personally and professionally to realize productivity improvements? Well, this episode is for you. We have Julie Collin joining us to share all the insights she's gained from leveraging AI. Tune in. Are you a real estate agent eager to unlock the power of AI to boost your productivity and scale your business? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the weekly podcast that takes AI from a buzzword to a business tool, making it approachable and actionable for agents like you. I'm your host, Rajeev Sajja, and each week I interview agents from across the country who are using AI to transform their careers. Join us on this journey to become an AI skilled agent and take your real estate career to the next level. Now let's get to this episode. Well, this is the first episode and it's going to be a good one because I have Julie Collin. She's a sales professional with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, select properties in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. Julie and I go way back, and she's got a marketing brain that I think will come out in this podcast. So welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, Julie.
Thank you, Rajeev. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here. So before we begin, I'd love for the listeners to kind of get to know you a little bit of your background. You and I were connected at marketing level before you became an agent. So kind of walk us through, give us like an elevator pitch on Julie and bring us to today.
Yeah. So funny enough, I was a criminal justice major, and in college, I was an agent's assistant, which kind of got me into real estate. Always loved the marketing side of it. Once I graduated, I just stayed with the company and ended up being kind of an administrator, working my way up to the marketing department for select properties here in St. Louis. And then 2017, decided, you know what, I'm doing the marketing for all these agents. Why don't I do it for myself? And jumped into sales and haven't looked back since.
Nice. So you've been a real estate agent 7 years now.
Yep.
And you're also part of what I think is the best rising star group in the industry with the Rethink Council for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. They are our future legends, creative minds. So you get a lot of the best of the ideas. So can you imagine we're in October now, and then it's like 2 years, almost 2 years now to the ChatGPT anniversary, Thanksgiving of 2022. So what was your first aha moment with AI?
Yeah. So I feel like I was a slow burn with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I remember really connecting with, I think you did a podcast like back in February, maybe, that talked about custom instructions for your ChatGPT. And I was in the car, and as soon as I got to the office, I went straight to it and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to reintroduce myself every single time. So I did that. And then I was like, oh, forget it. I'm doing the paid version. And I hopped in there, and it saved me, just that little thing saved me so much time, as I was using it at a very surface level at that time.
Yeah, for sure. So, a lot of people, I believe there's going to be a separation season over the next 2 to 5 years for agents. And I call them agents that are not using AI. And then the middle category is the biggest category in my mind. There are basic AI use, like ask ChatGPT a question or two here and there. And then people that are going to be skilled with AI. And I think that's a journey that some agents are on. And I'm committed to kind of doing like a real estate AI academy online certification.
Nice.
Coming soon, by the way.
Yeah.
That is going to make them skilled with AI, learning tools and embracing things and understanding how to responsibly take on AI, because AI is not going to replace you. It's going to truly amplify your efforts, right? And that's really the human-centered approach to AI. So I'd love for us to dig in. You and I were talking the other day, and there were some standard things you were doing, but there were also some out-of-the-box things you were doing that I think agents listening to this would get a kick out of to try. So let's talk through, what are the specific use cases that you're using AI for?
Yeah, so I do have that marketing background, but there are definitely days that I don't have a marketing brain at all. So I actually use it to kind of make the juices flow, I'd say. And just gift ideas for my clients. I can just give a little background to ChatGPT and say, throw me some gift ideas that are personal for them. And it's crazy what it comes up with. It's like, why didn't I think of that? Another thing that I actually use this on a personal level is I threw in my mom's estate docs into ChatGPT, uploaded those, and we found actually a very significant error in it. And I thought, holy cow, like for it to be able to like bring that information out. Of course, I had to ask it lots of questions to get to it, but um, that for us, for our family personally, is going to save us so much time down the road. Of once she does pass, that it's not going to be a big issue. So with that, after doing that, I realized when I'm dealing with like estate docs and stuff like that of sellers, I'm able to just throw in all their docs and just ask it like, who are the parties to the contract if we go to sell this home? Because a lot of times they don't know. They may think it's them because they're the oldest, but really legally it's not them. So being able to like that quick information and having it, read through all those documents is such a time saver, I think. The other thing that I really love is, KCM has some amazing graphs that they throw out monthly.
100%. Yeah.
And I love to, go through the graphs myself. And then I will upload them into ChatGPT and just say, hey, give me a video script. Here's kind of the point I want to take out of
Perfect.
this.
Yeah.
And, it gives me my whole video there. Yeah.
100%. So, a lot of people have used ChatGPT text to text, like ideas, like that's where you
Yeah.
begin. But I think what I'm hearing is you've sort of elevated a little bit to text to document, like
Yeah.
document intelligence. I mean, just imagine contracts. Again,
Oh, yeah.
standard disclaimer: don't upload anything to ChatGPT that is confidential, that you don't want the model to learn from. But asking it questions, interacting with documents, and then images is another.
Yeah.
I think it's an underutilized feature in ChatGPT. It's available for free, the free users. You don't need the paid one to do it. But that's a great one. I remember doing my first interaction. I should tell you, Julie, it's funny. So my daughter likes banza pasta. I mean, she's big into protein and stuff. So whenever she comes, she makes banza pasta. So I took a picture of the banza pasta she made. And when you look at it, unless you're like a pasta connoisseur, you would never know it's banza pasta. And I'm not a pasta connoisseur. She is. I uploaded to ChatGPT and I said, give me a recipe for this. And it spit out 100% exactly. Get 3 boxes of banza pasta. I mean, it just went through the thing. So the next time when you're eating a meal somewhere at a good restaurant, take a picture of the food, And to your point, though, I think it's important for agents listening to this podcast to understand AI is not just a business tool. Clearly, it's one, but it has helped you personally as well. So if you embrace it personally, you get to become more comfortable with AI to kind of embrace it professionally and see the benefits, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing the same thing, Julie?
Yeah, absolutely. I just had I have a listing that's kind of further out of my area, but an agent wrote a contract on that listing, and they actually use different forms than us. And I was able to take his sale contract and throw it in and ask, of course, I try to read through it, but I know I'm missing something or I can't find, where's my title and survey deadline, all of that. I was able to throw it in there and just ask those important questions like, give me all my deadlines, what are all my dates, what exactly is this saying about, escrow, all of that. So that was huge for my time saver for me in the business. And then I can ask it where it's referenced. I can go straight to it and actually read it for my eyes just to double check those documents.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I shared this with you, Perplexity, as an app. So
Love it. Love it.
I'm not using Google. I'm just
No.
not anymore, right? So I'll tell you my favorite Perplexity story. So my family and 2 other families went to Costa Rica not too long ago, like in May, and we were planning for this. Before Perplexity, we would go to Google and kind of spend hours trying to figure out our agenda. 13 people, food allergies, like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I wrote a mega prompt and said, 13 people, this resort, gave it the whole detail. We want to go out 2 days to do these things, zip lining, 5-star restaurants, whatever, all allergies. Put it into Perplexity. It gave me a trip that I could share with my other 2 families. And we were there I'd say we spent about an hour total on it. Done.
That's amazing. I mean,
Crazy, right?
AI is like a personal assistant.
It
It,
is.
it truly is.
It sure is. It sure is. And I think we're just scratching the surface. And as
Yeah.
I've been saying, we're in preseason. It's football season, so we can say preseason. Like we're still like preseason, first game coming up type of thing. With AI. So, any other out of the box use cases that you've done, Julie? We've talked about a few here. I mean, the document thing was excellent. Images, ideation, I think, is a great place to start. I know we talk about AI as an assistant. I was recently talking to somebody. I said, if you treat it as an assistant, it'll do a good job. I mean, it's a 24 hours, 24/7 assistant, doesn't fall sick. It's always available, all that stuff. But I think if you treat it like a strategy coach and mentor, it will start to coach you better. For example, I've written a prompt for business planning. Like we're sort of getting into October 2024. Let's say you did 20 transactions. You can have it act as a business coach. Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, whoever you follow. Give it all the prompts, your transaction size, what you want to do in 2025. Give it your database size, and have it start to interact with you and give up your business plan. You'll be shocked at what it'll come
I'm
up with.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited to use it for business planning. I
It's going to be
think
awesome.
too, it's what I love a lot about it is that if I don't know how to prompt it, I can just ask it, what information do you need? Like if
Yeah.
I'm not being a good, leader to my assistant, tell me what you need. What information or what questions, can I answer to give me the results really at the end of the day, get me the results that I need. And I love that. I love
Yeah, for
that.
sure. I mean, telling it before you generate anything, ask me all the questions you need to ask me to
Hmm.
learn about my request. It that if you do that, you're separating yourself from
Yeah.
99% of people using ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So before we get to our final two questions that I ask all my guests, if you are not following Julie on social media, we're going to put this in the show notes. If you're not following Julie on social media, or if you have a referral to give in St. Louis, Missouri, she is your go-to agent. All right. We're going to put all our contact information in the show notes, but let's get to the final two questions. I mean, always hindsight is 2020, Julie, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been 7 years, you were a marketer, but if Julie was starting in business today, what advice would you give your younger self?
This was a little tough for me. I'm very grateful for all the mistakes that I made because I truly feel like that's how I became a better realtor for my clients. Um, but if I had to choose something, I would say, like, don't worry about making everything pretty because that was my marketing background. I was so worried about
Yeah.
how everything looked. And I think I should have probably focused on getting my systems together and, and then tweak those systems as I went. Just start with basic. And as I got confident in those, then I could add on and all that because there's nothing more satisfying to me than, I tell you what, a good checklist. And having that from the beginning, I think would have been very beneficial in growing my business.
That's a great takeaway. I mean, I've always get stopped by perfection instead of just focusing on
Hmm.
progress.
Yep,
Like just kind of keep moving and you get better over time, right? So
exactly.
that's great. So, I'm a big believer in books. Like if you've never, I want to share one for you. So if you've not read this, Unreasonable Hospitality,
Ooh, I haven't.
go, it is absolutely transformed how you interact with, especially for real estate agents. It's my go-to book of the year. But the question is, what is Julie's go-to book that you feel like has impacted your business the most that agents should read?
My book is, and this is not a real estate related book whatsoever, is Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey.
Oh, wow.
I kind of stumbled upon that, I'd say in 2020, 2019, 2020, and it completely changed my life personally, my family. And now I have brought in those principles into my business and actually run my business like a business. And being able to, financially know where I am, there's so much freedom outside of the money. Just having that peace of mind about finances, it's completely changed my life personally and in my business.
100%. And it's hard, right, Julian? Once you read a book that affects you personally, it'll spill over into your professional life. 100%.
Absolutely.
And vice versa,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, it's not like There's no walls anymore between the two in terms of life skills and things
Yeah.
like that.
And what's funny is that it actually changed the way I do business a little bit, like doing buyer consultations before I
Yeah.
even take them out. And somebody is hard for money and really wants to get a house. It's like, hey, it's okay if we're not ready today. Like, let's coach you up for 6 months until you are financially ready, because we want a home to be a blessing, not a curse to your family. So
Yeah. I have a last question that we've not talked about, which is, what is Julie most excited about going forward?
I am most excited about, okay, so right now, currently today, I'm most excited about um, hiring an assistant. I went to the Berkshire Hathaway explosion in Omaha,
Yeah.
and I went into that um, with needing a little clarity on what do I need to grow my business. And though I have a marketing background, I don't have time to do it because I need to
Don't.
work on my business. So I went into that looking for clarity and came out ready to freaking run with it. And I here soon am going to be hiring a marketing assistant, and I'm so pumped about it. And they're more knowledgeable than me, which I love.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. And I've heard this a long time. If you don't delegate, you're going to stagnate, right? I mean, you need to
absolutely.
find the
Yep.
right people to delegate, whatever those things are, finding systems that work for you. So I'm so
Yeah.
excited, Julie, that you took the time to join us on the podcast. You were
Thank you.
awesome. And Julie was amazing on the podcast today. You know how you can be amazing? You can like the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a fellow agent that could benefit from what Julie said today. We'll see you next week. You made it to the end. Nice. My goal with this podcast is to elevate your AI skills every week. If you found value in the show, your goal is to follow, share with a fellow agent, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave us a review, as it helps us reach more agents like you.